Good morning, one and all, and thank you for joining today's webinar on the behalf of MGB's Arts, Commerce, and Science College, Malegaon City, Department of Mathematics and IQAC organized one-day national webinar on the occasion of National Mathematics Day. Topic as Life of Srinivasa Ramanujan, sir. I heartily welcome to our today's respected speaker, Professor Safoora Ansari, and all the dignitaries and all the participants for joining today's webinar. I am Professor Sheikh Alauddin from the Department of Mathematics. I especially thanks to our Principal S.C. Hale sir, Vice Principal Dr. Shakib Ahmed, and Dean of the Commerce Faculty Dr. Arif Anjum sir. They encourage us to organize this webinar on national level. It's my great pleasure to introduce today's webinar. Today is the National Mathematics Day, announced by Prime Minister Manmohan Singh on the 26th February 2012 at a Madras University to mark the 125th birth anniversary of the Indian mathematician Srinivasa Ramanujan. Our today's speaker very well explained regarding this and about Sir Srinivasa Ramanujan. I call Dr. Shakke Member for the welcome note for today's speaker, Professor Safoora Ansari. Over to you, sir.
On behalf of MGV's Arts, Commerce and Science College, Malegaon City, I, Dr. Shakib, Vice Principal of the college, welcome all the participants and especially the speaker of today's program, Ms. Safoora, for this webinar. And I hope that the day that is National Mathematics Day will be celebrated by remembering the person, Mr. Srinivasa Ramanujan sir, and the students of mathematics will definitely benefited by this webinar, and they will get the idea about the person who started or who initiated mathematics in our country. So I hope this webinar will be fruitful for all the students. I again heartily welcome all the participants and especially Ms. Safoora ma'am for joining this webinar. Thank you very much. Over to you, Alauddin.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your kind motivation. Now, I would like to call Professor Mubashira ma'am for introduction of our today's speaker. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Welcome and a very good morning, all of you. I am Mishra, mathematics. I am honored to introduce our today's topic, the Safoora Ansari Bank. Qualification of Safoora Bank is SCSET, and she has also submitted their PhD thesis to FCN Jalgaon University. She published 5 research papers in various national and international journals. She has 5 years teaching experience in SNT College, Chandwar, as an assistant professor. She has also proposed a research project on topic some contribution of hyperideals in semi-hyper groups to Savitri Bai Phule University. Pune University verified her as a soft skill trainer. She also worked in 2 university countries. Safoora ma'am is one of my best teachers in chemistry. I know personally ma'am is very talented and kind-hearted. I would like to say for ma'am, कोई बज़्म हो कोई अंजुमन ये शआर कदीम है जहाँ रोशनी एक और शेर में मैं भी कहना चाहूंगी कि हम कहीं भी हो बनाएंगे जगह अपने लिए, हम कहीं भी हो बनाएंगे जगह अपने लिए। थैंक यू। ओवर टू Alauddin sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, without wasting of time, it's time to have today's speaker. It's pleasure to have you, ma'am. I mean, Professor Safoora Ansari. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, everyone. The organizing committee of this webinar, Alauddin, for he is my student. Mubashira is also my student. Thank you, Alauddin, for contacting me and inviting me for this webinar. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Shakib sir, for welcoming me. And thank you so much, Mubashira, for such a sweet introduction. First of all, I would like to say that सबको National Mathematics Day की बहुत सारी मुबारकबाद. So today my topic will be the life lessons to be learned from the great mathematician Srinivasa Ramanujan. Who was Srinivasa Ramanujan? Many of us do not know. We only celebrate National Mathematics Day, but we do not know the struggles that he faced and how he reached such a position in the world of mathematics. So Srinivasa Ramanujan was born on 22nd of December in the very small village. The name of the village was Erode, and it was located 500 kilometers away from Madras, situated in the state of Tamil Nadu. And the year of his birth was 1887. He was born to an extremely poor parents. His father was a clerk in a small sari shop, and from his childhood only, he was very curious about mathematics. He used to discuss mathematics with his school teachers as well. The many times he was like very much curious about, and he asked his teachers, what is the highest truth in mathematics? And he used to he got admission in the town high school in Kumbakonam, a village of the Tamil Nadu state, which was located 320 kilometers from Madras in January 1898. Ramanujan was so brilliant that he used to write the values of irrational numbers like pi, exponential number e, square root of any prime number like square root of 2, square root of 3, up to any decimal places at any point of time. अगर कोई उनसे पूछता था write down the value of pi up to 100 decimal places, he was able to write it down. He was that brilliant. During his school time, he received 2 scholarships, and those were the very prestigious scholarships given by British government to talented students like him. He excelled in mathematics and received Ranganathan Rao Prize and Junior Subramaniam Scholarship. When he was only 13 years old, he was introduced to a book written by S.L. Loney. The book was on trigonometric, and that time the book was supposed to be a textbook for college students. And when Ramanujan got this book, he was only 13 years old, and it took a very little time for him to master the subject trigonometry. So he was 13 years old, still he learned everything written in the book on his own. I would like to tell you that Ramanujan did not have any formal training in mathematics. So whatever he learned on his own. He was self motivated towards mathematics. He doesn't know needed any guidance to excel in the field of mathematics. Because of his love for mathematics, he could not focus on other subject, and because of this, he could not pass in other subjects taught at that time, and that's the reason he could not attain any degree. He could not completed his graduation, and that's the reason he could not find any job as well, any respected job. uh, but when he was married in 1909, he was married to a 10-year-old girl, because that time there was no like a child marriage act. So he married to a 10-year-old girl. So after marriage, he got a sense of responsibility and he went in the search of job. So after so much of struggle, because of lack of graduate degree, he could not find any respectable job. But in the some setup of British government, he got a job of clerk. Then the turning point came. He came across a book which was written by George Shoebridge Carr. The title of the book was A Synopsis of Elementary Results in Pure and Applied Mathematics, and the book was published in the year 1886. The book consisted of 6,000 problems, minimum of 6,000 problems of different areas of mathematics, which included algebra, trigonometry, calculus, and analytical geometry. What Ramanujan did was because he was not as privileged as we are. We do have different facilities. We have flood of books around us from which we can take reference. We have internet. The greatest gift we have is an internet in today's life. So whatever problem we come across, we Google it and we found answers 80% of the time. But Ramanujan was not privileged as much as we are. He did not even have teachers or fellow mathematicians with whom he can discuss. So, what he did, he took that book as a challenge for himself and he treated each and every problem of that book as a research project for himself. And I would like to tell you that every problem, not every problem, most of the problems given in the book were already solved 150 years ago by British mathematicians. But he did not have any idea about it because the book was only a synopsis, and synopsis always contains only statements. It did not have step by step proofs. So he considered it as a challenge. He took every problem as a research project for himself and he looked at it with a fresh eye. उनके लिए उस बुक का हर प्रॉब्लम एक नया प्रॉब्लम था. So he tried to solve it and almost all the problems he had solved. कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स बिल्कुल वैसे ही सॉल्व किए जो पहले से सॉल्व किए थे और मेनी ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम्स उन्होंने ऑल्टरनेट और सिंपलर मेथड्स के जरिए सॉल्व किए. It was this book which made him forget everything. Day and night he only indulged in that book only. He वो सोते भी रहते थे. He used to मतलब there were so many stories about him. So in one of those stories it is said that उनको ड्रीम में ऐसा बोर्ड दिखाई देता था रेड कलर का एंड समवन कम्स एंड राइट मैथमेटिक्स प्रॉब्लम्स और सोल्यूशन फॉर हिम. तो जब वो सो के उठते थे ही स्टार्टेड वॉट एवर ही सॉ इन द ड्रीम ही यूज्ड टू डू इट इन रियलिटी. सो दिस वाज द पैशन ऑफ हिम टुवर्ड्स मैथमेटिक्स के उनको सपने में भी मैथ्स के प्रॉब्लम्स और उनके सोल्यूशन ही नजर आते थे. तो ही डेडिकेटेड हिमसेल्फ टू मैथमेटिक्स. He as I mentioned, he struggled for job. Then he found his job in Madras Port Trust. There because he was clerk, he used to do so many numerical calculations, and he used to do without a abacus. Abacus was a instrument used for calculations. So, and in his school also he used to do calculations so quickly that his teachers they do not complete and he arrived at solution. So his teachers were very much impressed by him, and then same was the case when he was there. So his जो भी इनके ऊपर का ऑफिसर था, he was also very impressed by him because of his mathematical calculation abilities, and he was more likely inclined towards integers and infinite series. He used to play with integers, infinite series, and solve many problems. Then because he was working with the British firm, he got an opportunity to get in touch with several British mathematicians. So what he did, he wrote to many British mathematicians, but none of them had replied. जिनको भी इन्होंने कांटेक्ट किया उन्हें इनके जो पेपर्स थे या जो भी लेटर्स इन्होंने लिखे थे उनको लगता था ये सब लाइक रबिश है, बकवास है, इसलिए किसी ने उनको रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं किया. बट there was an eminent professor at the Cambridge University. It is a big name in the field of mathematics, and his name is G.H. Hardy. Ramanujan wrote 2 letters to him, and those 2 letters were unanswered. Then what he tried, he had sent him Ramanujan had sent him his own research paper of length 9 pages to G.H. Hardy. When the paper reached to Hardy, he thought that some of his colleagues are playing tricks on him. कोई मजाक कर रहा है, उन्हें ये लगा था. But somehow he took it very seriously and he was very amazed and impressed the way the paper was written. उन्होंने ये conclusion निकाला कि ये पेपर या तो किसी बहुत ही लाइक पागल इंसान ने लिखे हैं या तो कोई बहुत ही जीनियस इंसान ने लिखे हैं, क्योंकि ये ऐसी चीजें लिखना, it is not possible without having God gifted brilliance. So what he did, he involved J.E. Littlewood. He was another mathematician at the Cambridge University. Both were eminent professor that time. So they both sat, they read the paper, and what they have concluded, they have decided to call upon the Ramanujan to the Cambridge University. So they have invited him, and in April 1914, Ramanujan arrived at Cambridge University just 3 months before the First World War. He carried 3 notebooks which he had written on his own during the years 1903 to 1914. And the books carried thousands of identities. In 1918, he became the first Indian mathematician to be elected as a fellow of the British Royal Society. So when he got guidance of G.H. Hardy in the Cambridge University, they both have worked and they have given many results on integers and infinite series in mathematics. Because Ramanujan was not having any graduate degree with him, he could not be awarded with PhD degree, but he was awarded with a degree equivalent to PhD. But there was a tragedy. Ramanujan, for him, British atmosphere was not suitable because there is extremely cold weather, and the weather of Tamil Nadu is a bit hot. So he fall ill, and he fall ill so badly that he had to admitted in the hospital. In the hospital, when his supervisor Hardy went to visit him, he went up there. He asked his about well-being and everything, and then he told him the taxi in which I am arrived here, it was having a strange number, and the number did not attract me, and the number was 1729. Immediately, Ramanujan replied that this number is very special. And how this number is special, he told Hardy that it is the smallest integer which can be represented as the sum of cube of 2 different numbers. And Hardy was again impressed by his knowledge because he was in the hospital, he was not having good health, and still his love for integers and mathematics remains same. So from that time, the number 1729, 1729 is known as taxi cab number or Hardy Ramanujan number. After many more months, he could not respond to treatment. So they have decided to send him back to India. So in 1919, he was sent back to India, and only after 3 months, he died on 26 April 1920, only at the age of 32 or 33. So this is how, in a very short span of time, a great mathematician has left us all. As mentioned earlier, his 3 notebooks and 1 unpublished notebooks, they were kept in the Cambridge University. और वो बहुत सालों तक बंद रही in the year I think 1965 or something like this late 20th century. Someone accidentally opened the this संदूक type का जो था box and found this, and again it shook the mathematics world because of the identities, क्योंकि वो बहुत advanced है. अगर उन्होंने जो आइडेंटिटीज प्रपोज किए हैं उनका प्रूफ मिल जाता है तो मैथमेटिक्स आज से 10-20 साल आगे चला जाएगा. I would like to share something. Wait. Yes. Is this screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. हाँ, तो यहाँ पे कुछ सीरीज, सिंपल सीरीज जिनके लिए उन्होंने जो उन्होंने लिख के भेजे थे ब्रिटिश मैथमेटिशियंस को, वी आर गोइंग टू सी दैट. ओके, सो मैं यहाँ पे लिखती हूँ एंड आई वुड लाइक टू आस्क कि इसका आंसर क्या होगा, है ना. सो द सीरीज इज 1 - 1 प्लस 1 - 1 1 - 1 एंड सो ऑन. ये इनफाइनाइट सीरीज है ना. सो कैन आई आस्क यू व्हाट शुड इट बी इक्वल टू?
Maybe 0.
Okay. Any other answer? 0. There will be a condition. अगर यहाँ पे odd even number of terms होंगे, so everyone will be cancelled with -1. What if there are odd number of terms?
Odd number of terms. Then the last term will remain.
Yes, whatever, 1 or -1. Agreed? Sort of these three, one should be your answer, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So see how Ramanujan had worked on it. So what he did, he took A as 1 - 1 plus 1 - 1 and so on. Okay, now can I write this same series as this? This one, I'll keep this one as it is. I'm taking minus common. So again, I will have 1 - 1 plus 1 - 1, 1 - 1 and so on. Can I do this?
Yes, ma'am. Of course.
Yes. So this is 1 minus. And look at the term in the bracket. It is again A.
Yes. Again
So
A.
what we have got, A is equal to 1 minus A. Okay, so taking this minus A on the left hand side or adding A on the both hand side, we will have 2 times A is equal to 1, which implies that A is equal to 1 upon 2. है ना. So what we were thinking initially when I look at this problem, I thought either the problem will be answer will be between 0 and 1, but we have found that it is infinite series. It is equal to what? 1 upon 2.
1 upon 2.
है कि नहीं astonishing?
Yes, ma'am.
है ना, हमें infinite
It
series
can't be imagined.
Exactly. So that's why इसीलिए उनका जो पेपर ब्रिटिश मैथमेटिशियंस के पास जब जाता था ना, तो वो उनको लगता था कि ये बहुत ही बकवास है, क्योंकि देखने से लगता है कि या तो 0 आंसर आना चाहिए या तो 1, इसके अलावा और कुछ आंसर नहीं हो सकता है. But he had written that this infinite series has to be equal to 1 upon 2. है ना. So let me take to another series. So if I take B is equal to 1 minus 2 minus 3 plus 4 minus 5, 6 minus 7 and so on. है ना. Now we want to find what is this B. First of all, call it as 1. Now this, see this. Can I rewrite this B as 1 minus 2? These two terms. है ना.
Yes.
Taking minus common. In the bracket I will have 3 minus 4.
3 minus 4.
Again taking minus common, 5 minus 6.
5 minus 6.
है ना. 7 minus 8 and so on. Call it as 2. So what we want to find? We want to find what is this B. Okay. तो यहाँ से जब आप देखते हो, when I look at this, okay, it will be what? -1. फिर वापस से क्या जाएगा? minus of minus plus 1. है ना. Then -1 plus 1. क्या लगता है आपको? क्या होगा ये? वापस से वो पहला वाला सीरीज हो गया ना.
वही सीरीज है मैम.
है ना. तो either it will be 0 or it will be 1. But look how this magic works and how did he worked upon this. So from 1, है ना, we are considering equation 1 abhi. Look at the 1 only. Okay. So it is 1 minus. Now what I want to write this 2 minus 3 as, instead of this 2 minus 3 I will write 1 minus 2. अगर मैं वहां पे 1 minus 2 लिख रही हूँ, आई मस्ट हैव टू ऐड दिस 1 minus 1, राइट?
यस मैम,
है ना?
1 minus 1, हाँ,
अब यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा? प्लस 4 minus 5 है ना, तो यहाँ पे मुझे लिखना है क्या? 3 minus 4। तो वापस से
3
यहाँ पे
minus
क्या
4,
लिखूंगी मैं? प्लस 1 minus 1।
minus 1,
Okay, and then it will be 5 minus 6, again 1 minus 1,
1 minus,
and so on. So what we did, we have party इसको दो टुकड़ों में बांट दिया। नंबर 1 का जो पैरेंथेसिस था, ब्रैकेट का जो टर्म था, उसको हमने दो पार्ट्स में कर दिया। Now see from 2, this first bracket from 2, what it will be? It is B, no?
B.
हाँ. And what is this bracket from previous example? It was A,
A,
the series which we have seen
1
here,
by 2,
है ना?
हाँ,
हाँ, it was for 1 by 2. So C. Now tell me what should be B. Do it. So it will be taking this B on left hand side, it will be 2B. It is equal to 1 minus A.
1,
Keeping A as 1
B is
upon
equal to
2,
1,
it will be equal to 1 upon 2. So this gives you that B is equal to 1 upon
1 upon 2,
4. So doesn't it feel like a magic?
yes ma'am,
है ना? तो ये this was again one of those series on which Ramanujan had worked. So we were thinking this is again the same series, है ना? It should be 0 और at most अगर ये 0 और 1 नहीं हो रहा है तो A को देखते हुए हमें लगेगा कि it has to be 1 upon 2, right?
1 upon 2, yes,
है ना? लेकिन अब इसका आंसर भी 1 upon 4 आ गया। Now came a real problem and it will shock you अगर आप इसको first time देखेंगे, because I was extremely shocked when I read this. I was preparing this lecture and I found this series. Okay, so I would like to ask you what it will be. 1 plus 2, मतलब this is sum of all the natural numbers.
oh,
क्या लगेगा? मुझे जो लगा था वही आपको भी लगेगा। So
yes
हमें
ma'am,
हाँ?
n into n plus 1 upon 2,
No. It was ये जो n into n plus 1 है ना, it is for
sum of natural numbers,
in natural numbers.
first in
है
n,
ना? n into n plus
it,
1 upon 2. It
the
was
series
correct
ये,
for
हाँ,
हाँ, this is a finite series,
हाँ,
right? This is an infinite series.
infinite series,
हाँ, तो आपको क्या लगता है इसका आंसर क्या आना चाहिए?
बस infinite number से मैम सम infinity आएगा,
Exactly, this is what I thought. It must be equal to infinity. I won't tell you what is its correct answer because I want to shock you. मुझे shock लगा था, I want you to be shocked as well. So
okay,
what I'll do, we will do this S minus B, है ना? So our S is 1 plus 2, 3 and so on and minus B. अब हम यहाँ पे कौन सा B लिखेंगे from 2? We are going to write this B. 1 minus 2 minus 3 minus 4 and so on.
yes,
Okay. So it is 1 minus 2 plus 3 minus 4, 5 minus 6 and so on. Now look at this bracket. अब इन दो ब्रैकेट्स में से कौन से टर्म्स कैंसिल होंगे? Obviously it is a combination of even and odd terms.
all natural numbers first bracket जो रहेगा, minus
Not
1,
all natural
minus
numbers.
3, odd numbers,
Odd, हाँ, सारे
numbers,
odd numbers cancel हो जाएंगे
odd
because
numbers,
it will come with opposite signs.
opposite signs होंगे,
3 minus 3, it will get cancelled. So in the first bracket you will have 2 plus 4, 6, 8, all the even terms. And here see, it is what all the even terms in the second bracket come with minus sign,
हाँ,
and
even
outside
but
you have minus sign as well. So all these will become
it will be plus,
yes. So again you will have 2 plus 4 plus 6, 8 and so on, है ना? That means we have this bracket two times, so we can write 2 plus 4, 6, 8 and so on. So again taking 2 common from here, we will have 2 into 2. Okay, so it will be what? 1 plus 2, 3, 4 and so on. Agree?
yes ma'am,
So it will be 4 times. What is it? What is the term in the bracket?
again yes,
S. So on the left hand side you have S minus B, and on the right hand side you have 4S. So S minus 4S, it will be equal to B. So S minus 4S, it is what? Minus 3S?
minus 3s.
B, है ना? So S is equal to minus B upon
minus
3. What was
3.
B?
B is
हमने लास्ट पेज पे B सॉल्व किया ना? B was 1 upon 4, no?
हाँ 1/4 1/4.
हाँ, so it is what? Minus 1 upon 3 into 1 upon 4. So it is equal to what? Minus 1 upon 12.
1/12.
This is your S. So can you imagine the sum of natural numbers is equal to negative number?
minus.
है ना?
How
मैंने
can
भी
this possible?
तो फाइंड अ फ्लॉ इन माय प्रूफ ना, मतलब मेरा नहीं, रामानुजन के प्रूफ पे मैंने जो ये प्रूफ किया उसमें फिर फ्लॉ फाइंड करके बताओ कि यहाँ पे रॉन्ग क्या है.
कुछ रॉन्ग तो नहीं है उसमें.
हाँ, तो
But how
जीएच हार्डी
it
ने,
can be possible कि sum of positive numbers is negative?
because we do not know infinity ना, at infinity what is happening we
Yes,
do
yes.
not know. That's
Yes, yes.
why रामानुजन, कभी भी आप गूगल पे सर्च करोगे ना, तो रामानुजन के फोटो के नीचे ऐसा कुछ फोटोग्राफ्स आएंगे रामानुजन के, वहां पे लिखा होगा द मैन हु
Who knows
न्यू
infinity?
इन्फिनिटी.
Yes, yes.
दैट्स द रीजन. सो ये सारे प्रॉब्लम्स उन्होंने भेजे थे, इसीलिए जैसे हमको बिलीव नहीं हो रहा है वैसा उन, इसीलिए वो ये कंक्लूजन पे पहुंचे थे ना कि या तो ये किसी बेवकूफ ने लिखे होंगे या तो किसी बहुत ही महान रियाजीदान ने लिखे होंगे जिसको इतना डीप नॉलेज है. सो कैन यू इमेजिन कि उनको मैथ्स का कोई बैकग्राउंड नहीं था. ही वॉज नॉट हैविंग एनी फॉर्मल ट्रेनिंग. जैसा आज हमें इतने सारे टीचर्स एक साथ पढ़ाते हैं वैसा उनके पास नहीं था. ही वॉज अ सेल्फ लर्नर. उन्होंने जो भी सीखा खुद से सीखा और उसके बाद उन्होंने ये सारे रिजल्ट्स प्रोड्यूस किए. इजंट इट अमेजिंग?
Yes, of course, ma'am.
यस.
Hello. हाँ.
सो मुझे एक्चुअली वी आर लाइक किसी भी इंसान का जब हम लोग पढ़ते हैं उनकी लाइफ के बारे में, वी मस्ट ट्राई टू आस्क अवर सेल्फ कि हमने इनकी जिंदगी से क्या सीखा. तो द फर्स्ट थिंग विच आई लर्न फ्रॉम हिम, you poverty cannot stop someone who is really talented, है ना. और इस चीज की मालेगांव में बहुत जरूरत है. हमें बहुत सारी रिसोर्सेस नहीं होते हैं, तो हम क्या करते हैं, हम कंप्लेन करने बैठ जाते हैं कि हमारे पास ये चीज नहीं है इसलिए मैं आगे बढ़ नहीं सकी या बढ़ नहीं सका, है ना. वी ऑलवेज कंप्लेन, बट लुक एट हिम, ही वॉज नॉट हैविंग एनीथिंग ना. अब 1887 तब तो पता नहीं बल्ब भी था या नहीं था, आई डोंट रिमेम्बर. मतलब बहुत सारी फैसिलिटीज नहीं होंगी ये तो श्योर है. स्टिल ही हैड मेड हिज वे. द फर्स्ट थिंग वी शुड स्टॉप डूइंग इज वी शुड स्टॉप कंप्लेनिंग. और हमारे पास जितने रिसोर्सेस अवेलेबल हैं हमें उनका ही यूज करके आगे बढ़ना चाहिए. This is the thing I have learned from him. He was like having extremely poor background. He was not having adequate facilities. He was struggling for job, but whatever was available to him, he has made out most out of it, and he has reached this place. He is considered as the one of the best mathematicians of all time, है ना. And the second thing, he stayed true to his dreams. Nothing could stop him. अब हमारे जैसे हम अगर किसी को ईमेल लिखते हैं, लेटर लिखते हैं या किसी को एक गाइडेंस के लिए, हेल्प के लिए कहते हैं, एक बार हो गया, दो बार हो गया, अगर उसका रिप्लाई नहीं आता तो हम क्या करते हैं, वी गिव अप. यस, बट रामानुजन डिड नॉट नो हाउ टू गिव अप, बिकॉज जैसा मैंने पढ़ा और जैसा मैंने आपको बताया कि बहुत सारे मैथमेटिशियंस ने उनको कोई रिप्लाई नहीं दिया. इवन हार्डी वेंट अनआंसर्ड फॉर 2 times, लेकिन उन्होंने गिव अप नहीं किया. क्यों गिव अप नहीं किया? बिकॉज ही न्यू हिज स्ट्रेंथ. उनको अपना रिकॉग्निशन था और उनको एक चाह थी अपने आप को या जो भी वो सोचते हैं वो लोगों तक पहुंचाने का, दुनिया को दिखाने का, है ना. सो सिंपली ही वाज जस्ट did not know how to give up and he continued. उन्होंने एफर्ट्स किए. कब तक एफर्ट्स किए? जब तक उनको जो चाहिए था वो मिल नहीं गया तब तक. सो ऐसा हमें भी करना चाहिए। मतलब हमारे जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो थोड़ी सी नाकामी पे थोड़ा सा अगर उनको कुछ डिसअपॉइंटमेंट होता है हम बहुत जल्दी गिव अप कर देते हैं। सो वी मस्ट नॉट गिव अप और हमें खुद के एबिलिटीज पे बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस होना चाहिए। अगर आपको खुद पे कॉन्फिडेंस है, अगर आपको अपनी वैल्यू है, आप अपने टैलेंट को रिकॉग्नाइज करते हो, यू नो योर सेल्फ बेटर, देन देर इज नो स्टॉपिंग स्टोन, है ना। And
Yes, ma'am.
the one more thing which I've learned is the focus. Like it is not something to follow कि आप बाकी सारे subjects में fail हो जाओ, एक ही subject पे concentrate करो. But the positive thing which we can take from this is he was extremely focused. ही मतलब अगर उनको मैथ्स पे फोकस करना है, जैसा मैंने बताया कि वो सिनॉप्सिस वाला बुक पढ़ने के बाद ही फॉरगॉट एवरीथिंग, ही वाज ओनली इन दैट बुक ओनली। मतलब एक जो पैशन जुनून सा सवार हो जाता है वैसा हो गया था। सो फोकस इज वन मोर थिंग विच वी कैन लर्न फ्रॉम हिम, रामानुजन। एंड अगर मुझे बताइए क्या होता अगर हार्डी ने उनको रिप्लाई नहीं किया होता तो what is the possible thing if Hardy not replied to him?
मे बी उनकी थेरी वहीं
दुनिया
रुक
तक
ही
ना
लेती।
पहुंच, एग्जैक्टली दुनिया तक नहीं पहुंच पाती। तो यहाँ से एक जो लेसन हमें मिलता है कि एक टीचर का इम्पोर्टेंस आपकी लाइफ में कितना होता है। यू मतलब एक लाइफ ही चेंज हो जाती है व्हेन यू हैव किसी का हाथ आपके सर पे होता है। तो व्हेन समवन रिकॉग्नाइजेस योर टैलेंट, समवन अप्रिशिएट्स यू, इट चेंजेस योर लाइफ अपसाइड डाउन। नाउ इट इज वर्ल्ड वॉर वन वाला एरा, पहली जंग अजीम का दौर था उस वक्त। अब पहले तो हम ये सोच सकते हैं कि उनको कम्युनिकेशन में कितना प्रॉब्लम आता होगा। अब आज के दौर में अगर हम कम्युनिकेट करना चाहें, हम दुनिया के किसी भी कोने में विद इन सेकेंड्स कम्युनिकेट कर सकते हैं। अब उस वक्त तो इंटरनेट था नहीं, उनको अगर एक लेटर लिखना है, वो लेटर को बरतानिया पहुंचने कितना वक्त लग जाएगा और वहां से रिप्लाई आने तक कितना वक्त लग जाएगा। हमें रिप्लाई नहीं आता है तो हमें फ्रस्ट्रेशन होने लगता है। व्हाट्सएप पे भी हम लोग मैसेज करते हैं किसी फैमिली को, फैमिली मेंबर को या फ्रेंड को रिप्लाई नहीं आता तो वी become very frustrated. So look at his patience कि he waited. अब उनको पता भी नहीं होता था कि मुझे रिप्लाई आएगा नहीं आएगा। जैसे हम लोग फॉलो अप ले लेते हैं ईमेल पे। So he was not having this facility, still he waited, he was very patient. तो अगर हार्डी शायद नहीं होते तो ये ग्रेट मैथमेटिशियन का डिस्कवरी नहीं हो पाता। So it is very important to have a good teacher in your life. एंड एक अच्छे टीचर का भी ये काम है कि अपने स्टूडेंट्स के टैलेंट को पहचाने और उन्हें आगे बढ़ाए। सो आई थिंक इट्स 12:40, सो आई शुड स्टॉप हियर। थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी। अगर आपने मुझे इनवाइट नहीं किया होता शायद ये जो सीरीज वगैरह मैंने पढ़ी हैं और जो भी आर्टिकल्स मैंने पढ़े, ये थोड़ा सा शॉर्ट सा सेशन प्रिपेयर करने के लिए वो मैं नहीं पढ़ती। आई रिमेन अनअवेयर माई सेल्फ। So I'm very, very thankful to all the organizing committee members. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your prestigious lecture after such a long time. बहुत टाइम से वेट कर रहे थे आपके लेक्चर के लिए और मिस भी कर रहे थे आपका लेक्चर, और इतने शॉर्ट टाइम में इतना नॉलेजफुल लेक्चर्स देने के लिए। आपके लेक्चर से रिलेटेड एक शेर याद आ गया आप मुझे।
हाँ,
आप आप आए तो बहारों ने लुटाई खुशबू, फूल तो फूल थे कांटों से भी आई खुशबू।
so sweet of you. I would like to tell you one more thing because दो दिन से I was very like ill. Look at this. I सुबह में भी मुझे ये IV लगाना पड़ा और I got very little time to prepare the session. But मुझे मेरे हस्बैंड बोल रहे थे कि आप बोल दो कि आप नहीं कर सकते, बट आई डिडंट वांट टू गिव अप बिकॉज दिस इज अ लेसन आई हैव लर्नड फ्रॉम रामानुजन्स लाइफ। सो थैंक यू।
थैंक यू सो मच मैम। आपकी तबीयत नासाज होने के बावजूद आपने लेक्चर लिया।
इट इज माय प्लेजर।
But now it's time for vote of thanks. I would like to call Professor Sana Parveen for vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am, sir. Ma'am.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of Mahatma Gandhi Vidya Mandir Arts, Commerce and Science College, Malegaon City,
from Department of Chemistry. Myself, Professor Sana, here to present the vote of thanks. I am very much thankful to our keynote speaker, Professor Safoora Ansari ma'am. It is very informative session in which you talked about life history of Srinivas Ramanujan. I also thanks to our beloved principal, S.C. Hale sir, Dean of Commerce and Nodal Officer, Dr. Arif Anjun sir, Vice Principal, Dr. Shakib Ahmed sir, CEO of our college, Dr. Mubin Nazir sir, IQAC Coordinator, Dr. Rizwana Hamdani ma'am, and my teaching and non-teaching staff members who helped to organize this webinar smoothly, and thankful to all those who directly and indirectly being instrumental in organizing this webinar. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing this valuable knowledge. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And now it's time to declare over the program. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hmm.